Hi, my name is Jean Pelletier. I am the COO at Beyond Indigo Pets, and today I'm sitting in for Kelly Baltzell. Our topic this session is healthy eating, and I have with me Brooke Wheeler, who is our Director of Social Media Marketing. And Brooke is our company go to for healthy living and healthy eating. Um, Brooke, how did you get started on this journey?
Yeah, thanks. I never knew I was the go-to. That's nice to hear.
Oh, you are.
Um, in 2013, I was diagnosed with brain cancer. And so, um, like oftentimes when something is out of your control, you find what you can control. And so one of the things that came out of that experience was me doing a lot of research on how I can best support my body while I'm trying to fight something that's really scary. And so, yeah, I started getting involved in finding out what worked for me, what didn't work for me. Through that, finding that I had some allergies. And so then just started making choices that best served my body and what would best support what I had ahead. So, and it's been like that for 7 years.
And so, how does your eating day and your healthy day look? What kinds of things are important to you?
My healthy day. So, one of the things that I have even more recently adopted is drinking a big bottle of water first thing in the morning because that helps with the detoxification process. And when you're on a lot of medications, you want to make sure that, for me, I want to make sure that I'm cleaning out my organs so that they can function at their peak capacity. So water every morning before, probably about 30 minutes before I eat anything. And then my morning starts with I take some supplements, a prebiotic, a probiotic, and digestive enzymes, and some B12, and just kind of like super greens, that kind of thing to get my body going. And then I start with a plant-based protein shake for my food. And that's something that I've found to be easy and attainable and sustainable for me. So
Mhm.
how I best fuel my body. But it's all plant-based. That's something that I did. I listened to quite a few podcasts um, and that was kind of a conclusion of the research that I did, that was what was going to be best for me. And it's proven to be so in my blood work over time. So that's what's been really nice.
Now, had you always been eating a plant-based diet, or was that a transition for you?
That was a transition, but what's interesting is I was always drawn more to that even as a child. And so I think what I've learned is a lot of times your body will tell you what's going to serve it best if you're really paying attention. And so if you think about like your mind, your gut health and your mind health and your skin, how that's all connected, a good tangible way to think about that is if you're nervous or anxious and you get a feeling in the pit of your stomach, and that's connected to your emotions, which are connected to your thoughts, and then your palms get sweaty. That's a good way of grasping the tangible aspect of that connection. Um, so it was interesting that that's what my body was naturally drawn to when I was younger, and then that's what has served me well over the years.
Now, does it involve eating any fun things?
Oh yeah, it's totally fun. You just have to learn. You just have to learn how to create. So I've learned how to, make baked goods. All of my favorites, I haven't really had to sacrifice because you learn how to kind of mimic flavors, and especially once you get used to it. I make like an Alfredo with with nutritional yeast and soaked cashews and some fresh pasta, and it's super fast. I think that's a misconception that people think that it's like cumbersome to eat healthy, and it you're not. It's expensive. I really have found a way. I actually kept a spreadsheet about, for a cost analysis for about 6 months, and actually found that I saved money when I planned out. So I think that was a cool little myth buster to the lifestyle. But let's see, baked goods. I love cupcakes, so I didn't have to sacrifice cupcakes. You just find what substitutions work. There's good egg substitutes. And cheese. So I've made a cashew cheese mold for the holidays.
Mm.
And yeah, so you really don't miss out if you think about it.
I know when you came to visit me with some of our other coworkers last year, I went out and bought a lot of things that you would be able to eat, and they were like, I didn't even know if you got any of some of them because we got this cashew dip, and we were like, this is fantastic, and we all buy it to this day. So you're right. There's a lot of really exciting flavors out there, and eating healthy doesn't mean eating boring. It means eating healthy,
Yeah.
and feeling good. Yeah. What tips did you have for somebody who wants to get started?
Just keep it simple and don't be too hard on yourself and don't overthink it. I think if your mine kind of came out of like a health situation that forced me to like crash course it. But honestly, if it's something that you're wanting to just kind of inch toward, maybe start with having a glass of water in the morning if you're not a big water drinker. Maybe start with instead of an Alfredo sauce, try the plant-based version. Do a little bit of research, because I think too there's things that our bodies are different, and so there's things that we need differently, and maybe look at what makes you feel energized, what when you eat it and you consume it, if you're looking at this diet, what is it that would make you feel like you're doing something good for your body, and you'll notice that if you're really paying attention. Maybe try replacing coffee with an herbal tea if you're willing to go that far. And it's really not that bad. Yeah. I won't ask you to do that, Jean. Don't worry. No, but I think just small steps, and there's not failure in it, and educate yourself. I mean, there's a lot of resources out there. There's a lot of good podcasts, even on how our bodies better absorb nutrients. And so it may not be that you're eating the wrong things. It may be that you need to look at the way that you're getting them and how your body's absorbing them.
Mm-hmm.
And
someone can still eat healthy if someone didn't want to go fully plant-based. They can still eat pretty healthy.
Yeah. There's a lot of anti-inflammatory ways to eat. And I think that's I guess I didn't say that from the beginning. I know that cancer comes from inflammation, so I try to keep that at a minimum in my body. Mm-hmm. And so it's not all necessarily plant-based. If you think like lean meats, if you're going to eat meats, it's like stick to like chicken and fish, and maybe pull out, don't do burgers and bacon every day or something. Just those little adjustments can start removing the inflammation. And even looking at doing something like, I talked about the digestion aid with the probiotic and the prebiotic. That is even something to help. Your gut health is 70% of your immune system. So if that's something that you even start there, will help your body start naturally and then you might find that you're naturally drawn towards things that are going to serve you best.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah. What about sugar? I know that's one of the big things that people struggle with.
Yeah, for sure. And that's something, and I talk about like the mind connection. So I do meditation and yoga as well. And so that was something that, if you're paying attention to where you are and you're mindful, a lot of times when you want sugar, it's because it's an emotional connection, and it actually triggers the dopamine response. So that's why sugar is so addictive. But your body does need sugar. So you want to make sure if you think about your blood sugar being sustainable, if you're counting your sugar or looking at it, you want to get like an unrefined sugar. You want to have an unprocessed sugar, so that, and then if you have fiber, so if you think about, say you have 7 grams of sugar and you consume, I can't remember, I think it's like 10 grams of fiber, that metabolizes as like a negative net 3 grams of sugar in your system. So I think the thought that sugar is bad is not necessarily, it's something that I've learned I need it. If you don't have sugar, you're going to crash. So, don't be scared of it because your body needs it for a reason.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I'm always amazed at is if I like to read labels. And so when I read labels, how much sugar there is in things that I never expected there would be any sugar in.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. It's crazy, like the preservative level. And if you just, reading labels too, that's a good point. If you want to think about a place to start, just start reading what's in what you're consuming.
Mm-hmm.
And you might naturally go, okay, never mind. But
what about eating out? I mean, not that a lot of us aren't eating out in restaurants much these days, but thinking about when we return to some version of normal.
Yeah.
What about eating out? How do you handle that?
Yeah. So I just ask for what I need, and I'm not afraid to make modifications.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there are ways to have flavorful food with modifications. And oftentimes, if I'm going to a nicer restaurant where there's a chef that you want to respect that a chef has an art form, and you don't want to insult them by saying, hey, I don't want any of the stuff that you put on the menu. So I often just would say, like, hey, these are my restrictions. I would love whatever you feel like creating in the kitchen that would meet those restrictions. And you get some really good stuff. But even if you're trying to be I don't know, just aware of what you're buying on the menu, maybe just ordering things with a little bit less heaviness. But I would say, don't be afraid to just modify a little bit and still get what you want. Because I mean, a restaurant's a treat, so if you don't have to make the modifications, then just do it in moderation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we're coming up on the holidays.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for eating healthy during the holidays?
Yeah, I would say, especially now that we're kind of, in the season that we're in the world, you can play around in your kitchen a little bit because we have a little bit more time at home. And there are some really cool, so I have this cookbook I'll show you guys. This is called the vegan, oh wait, I'm mirroring myself.
There you are.
The vegan holiday cookbook. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Boop. Okay. So, and it's super fun is what it says. But if you can tell, I have all these things bookmarked, and these are things that I've made. So you can go by holiday and find things that you want and get creative and get fun. And it's fun to do. I let my niece pick out some things that she would like. So then we made them together. And I found a meatball recipe, and it was actually easier than like the traditional. So sometimes that misconception too is that you can't be festive and you can't participate in holiday things and it's going to be bland and boring. And really it can be a little bit more attainable and just something fun to do together too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what's your favorite recipe in the book? If you could only have one.
Oh, booger. I don't know. I think only one. Can I do a savory and a sweet?
Okay. Yes, you can.
Really liked the meatballs. So they were like, it was walnuts and celery and onions and garlic chopped up, sauteed in a little bit of olive oil and mushrooms, and then lentils. And so we just cook all that together, and then you just make meatballs out of them. But it only took like 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then you roll it in some breadcrumbs and pop them in the oven, and you got some meatballs.
Wow, that sounds great.
With the mushroom gravy. They were really good. Mm-hmm. And then I really liked the pumpkin pie recipe. I didn't realize homemade crust would be good. With the modifications of being vegan, but it was pretty tasty. So, yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Pumpkin pie has always been a favorite, so I like that one.
So the message is that you can still have pumpkin pie and eat healthy.
Yes, you can.
Great.
Yes.
Good to know.
Good.
That wraps up our session for today. As always, stay tuned every day at noon Central for our Facebook Lives. And Kelly will be back with us later this week. And have a wonderful day.
Thank you.